Yes, good evening. Here's another one. Actually, this one is directed at somebody who hung around me for about the last 13 years that ran away, and I pissed him off. I pissed off a guy. He paid me 40 months free rent, free rides to go anywhere. And at the end, he had a chance to make 30 bucks, but he had to share with me. He told me, F off, you're not my friend. I have no money. Have no money. I paid for him for years. He has no money to understand the words I speak. So I've been reading license plates, and he tells me, they're only letters. Well, fuck, man, they got shapes. She's only a girl. She doesn't have a shape. If she had no shape, you wouldn't look at her shape. So it's more than a letter. I'm going to show you. XC. Okay, you see the XC? That's the beginning of my license plate. Now I'm going to put an X, an S. S. My license plate is XCS. I will show you. Well, here's what comes out. You see, it's looking glasses. Look at the bottom. It's tied up at the X. You turn it upside down. It looks like a smiley face with two eyes standing up. That's XCS attached together. Those two circles is what Moses did when he split the seas. You see, when you take an S and you cut it in half, it looks like two C's. So in order to fill it out and not to be stuck and to show a difference, which comes around that goes around, the 8 of eternity, the smiling face of the X, which is actually, if you take a good look, is the CH of the Canadians hockey team is right there. But you got to be less blinded and follow the lines. I'll try and do it if I could. Or you put things together and they're together like a puzzle. We all do it a little different. You see, my license plate has a 1 in front, and it ends in a 1, and 1 for all, and 1 for 1, and that's what it all, and it's all in fun. I'll just try and show you it, okay? I'll see if I can do it. I'm not that good at it. I just discovered this tonight because somebody asked me the question. Ask me, don't pressure me, and I can go. But the minute somebody shoves pressure, they cut the line. The minute somebody puts a virus into the net, it disturbs it. There's interference. Interference causes muscle spasm, causes everything in the body, because everything in the body has no space. Everything in the body is in position. Okay, we'll get all the wingers, the right, the left wing. Bob Gainey on the left wing, he was the best, number 23. How's that possible? An odd number, a 2 and a 3, a 5 in the middle of the grid. Bob gained what knee? Bob's knees were so strong, he gained everything over everybody, and he split into the corner. And you know what? When you got the Roadrunner there, he's just as fast. When you got the cunning Gainey and the Roadrunner, you have Yvon. Yvon. He goes. Yvon, he goes. Car, noyé. Noyé is to drown. Car, noyé, to drown. He's so fast, he drowns everybody. He spins in circles. And now we got 2 players on the CA of the Canadian. Anne, the cause of Diane, the daughter of the queen who was out for the rights of the good of all. She wasn't any of the same of anybody else. They had to take her away because she knew all the words and she knew her work was truth. So they knocked her out with the media. The same way we learned to run our lives. The main point, as our mother told us, is take the 4 directions and look all around. But the chicken was the smartest. The chicken, the Ken, as he turned around, he made no other move but turn around. That's the reason for the chicken. Chick, Ken. Does that mean Ken's a chick? And Barbie's on the stick? So Barbie's a dick and Ken's a homosexual. So what do you got now? You got a threesome? But they're having fun. And all the kids are playing and they don't even know the difference. It's in the name. I know it's in the name because I can read it when you slow it down. But if you speed it up and tip tap tap, everything turns. Now let me see if I can get to that Canadian thing. How does that work? We have formation here and a formation here. We have, let's see, no, we'd have to go straight across here, and then we'd go straight across here, and then we'd cross it to the center, and once we cross it all together, does it look like the CH? What do you think? I just straightened the crosses for all the cuts of the letters were. You see where all the cuts of the letters? The K, it stopped, the X, it stopped, the C, it stopped, and the 8 and the S stopped. So that, when you put them all together and connect everything, it becomes a CH. Of the Montreal Canadiens, the X-Men, because they were the best. Who knew and how come they were all together? We didn't have to say what their name was. Their names were X because they were the X-best. X-best? Ex-best friend who wants to be with the best friend. He's the best. Everybody thought he wasn't. They judged him, so he left, and he was the greatest. So they put them all together because they were all thrown aside. You know, let's throw it all aside. And the birds, the seagulls, you know, you see the gals, they'll pick up the bread. It's got a value without a number or color. They see the brown and the white. For them, brown and white is good. But you see something brown, and then something's wrong. I got blue eyes. In fact, my eyes are so blue you can see the dolphins jumping around. They're jumping around so often I can see so much more because I close my mind to everything else as I wear the piss hat. You know what? Because it's this thing that fucks everybody. It ain't down there. That thing ain't got no brains. This piss hat is the one that does it. And this is what's going to piss everybody off. JFK, November 22nd, 1963. For all those professors who didn't like Aldous Huxley, who said he wasn't true, well, screw off. It's my turn. Died the same day. For the truth of his explanation for a different way he understood things from the way he saw it. Not his fault he saw it different. He treated him like a black guy, like he was different, like he was an Arabian, like he was a Jew. You know, the only place in all of North America that they don't hang a Jewish flag when the holidays come is in Quebec. And it's Quebec, that's where everything is hidden, where the one who knows most of all the questions is answered in Quebec. They hid it in this place because they wrote it. Quebec, kiss my ass. When you stick your head in your ass, you got a brown nose, but it don't stink because you know everything. You get to hide. Hide and go seek. La la la. You found me. You gave me a SIN insurance number so I can pay you. So I pay you. SIN, it's a sin. Why did they put it that way? They put the I was in the center and they kept it as a capital. Once it's a capital, you can't move around because it's stiff at the bottom, it's stiff on top. You're standing between the snake. And then you're standing in front of what stands up alone. Two lives. A capital N has two lives, one at the bottom, one at the top. The whole thing is you're stuck in between. So you can't get to any of the lives, so they tie you down with the sin card. And thus in the grid, they give you 3 numbers in 3 different rows. 3 to knock out God, 3 to knock out the angel, and 3 to knock out you. But what are they knocking out? Is the difference of the truth. They knock the difference of the truth out. You don't know if he's guilty or not. One story he's telling is the truth. The other story he's making up because you won't believe the truth. You see, they knocked out the difference. Now you got to put an X there. So now we're the X-Men again. So it doesn't work. Dragging on Dragon Ball Z. They drag us around the world and we sleep all the time. They shove us in the jails. Because the answer we gave them of the truth, they didn't believe. Is it our fault they didn't believe? Who made them judge? How did they think the morning? Who saw them? What did they see? If they were blind and couldn't hear or anything and only can touch with their fingers, maybe they'd have half a chance. But the minute you open your eyes, you see. And what you see is in your eyes. And the choice is in your brain. And am I going to work this morning at 8 or will I leave at 8:15? Does it matter if I'm late? Well, the truth of the matter is, if you follow the rules, of course it matters if you're late, even if everybody's still happy. You're late, you're late. That's what it is. If you're late, hey man, you got here at 8:04. That's the hour of arrival. When you get her after 8:04, either you say the time or you say you're late. Don't get offended. You're late. Hey man. Hey bud. Hey, what's going on, dude? Hey, you're my buddy. But don't whack me in the head and tell me you're my friend. Because I don't want to whack you back. Because it'll make me cry and sad that you don't know the difference, that you just don't understand. It's not my fault. And I still can't hit you back. And I cry. And I cry, and they sing it in all the songs. You can't hit back because then you do wrong. To correct something is wrong. To correct in that way. Because if the whack is a smack, and this person is like jello or a balloon in a bus, they fall and die. and then it's manslaughter, but you didn't do it purposely. You didn't mean it. There was an action-reaction. Things just happen in the brain. Do you think that, every time a car goes through the red light, you may as well kill the guy, put him in jail? Because it was action-reaction. We were too close. The pointers of the sergeant's stripes are the distance we all should stand, because we need to give a chance for everybody else to think. If we do not think, and then we make an action, the action might make unsatisfaction, which would be unsatisfactory, and the factory will not work with all the tools in position, and the man just pushes the buttons as he created a machine to work perfectly. So why can't we work perfectly? It's okay to go outside the circle. You have to understand and base it all around with common sense and logic. We distill the things. We don't steal anything, but we must distill the way things come in when people are a little angered at us, because we have to distill it, because we have to accept it that way. They don't know. Nobody taught them, because nobody knew before. All they knew is how to get close. But you know what? Great is good. Great is not always better. But I try harder, because as hard as I try, as long as I have the chance to only get to 9.9, that extra cent gives me the leeway. You see, the scent, if you throw it in water, it turns green. It grows. You put it in the middle of the earth, it never deteriorates. It rejuvenates. Copper is always the ground for everything, but gold, it plies and it bends, and silver shines, so it might heat up one end and cool off another. So the only thing that really cools everything up and down is the copper and all, because the copper tone is what cools us down, and the calmer of the tone is what's cooler down. So the calmer the tone, we're all cooled down, yet we have no cooler at all except for what comes out of our brain. So the cooler is the alcohol that slows down the mind. So our minds are cooler, and we're cooler callers. So we call on up the calling. Now I have to go, because they're calling me for a smoke. I have to smoke my joint to lift the mind with the cigarette of the purity of the Indian make. The smoke lifts the marijuana up to the second level or dimension in the mind, where you open up that level for the transfer of the blood flow, where instead of going 130 over, let's say, 80, it would be 170 over 95, making the information come in. But it's so smooth going out, because it's only the pure truth. I don't have to think at all. It's only this pure truth. So it's almost like having a perfect connection. I just got I've got two males holding, I got actually two males like this, with a female on the other side. So you see, in this position, this fucking here, these two males fucking right here, with a female wrapped around the two, hiding these two fuckers, is what's keeping the transmission and the blood flow of the heart more even, because there's no blockage as a two-valve way. You understand what I'm saying? Two-valve. You see, BP didn't understand. All they had to do was shove a valve further down, and then cap it on and cut it off, and then splice it all at once. What were they looking for? They put a cap on to start with. I don't get it. You go outside a range, you put a cap on, you roll down the ears, something happens, you put an earmuff, you put a scarf on it. I mean, you knew how to do that. You can't go down to the bottom of the water and figure it out. BP, bipolar, a reminder of the BP, that no one should forget that although 1 BP was no good, blood pressure, 1 BP of British Petroleum, which was the start of everything, because everything started in Europe. We all moved to Canada. The US, the American. The American what? The mayor is bad taste. Ika is igloo. Quebec, come on. Tail. We got the best tails out here, man. Everybody says come to Montreal if you want a tail. Holy crap. But you know what? Don't get blinded by the vision and the view, because sometimes a good tail might be at the wrong end of the stick. And if you're at the wrong end of the stick and he's jerking you off, you ain't being held by the love that came here for the woe of the man, the woman, the queen bee of the dam of the queen, in French and English. We say it all in the abacus of the third millennium. Who to come be the Messiah will be. I am waiting for him to come about one day, as I believe he's the one who's helping me with all this. I wish I could meet him one day, because I want to know. It can't be me. I'm only me. I'm having fun. I've been making poetry for 30 years and fooling around. I care, you swear, he dare, no stare, I stay, you stay, who know. You know, boom, 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 boom. It's like the rock and the band, and you're playing the rocks and the Indian dance. It's all a song. It's all music. I just sang it out. You know, I'm having fun with this. It just makes a lot of sense, eh? Don't forget, very soon I read the plates I read the Tukatan plates.